I really like the idea of using narrative and storytelling to mobilize tenants and let them know what their rights are in the hopes of achieving housing justice.
When I found this opportunity, I was really excited because I have a lot of interest in the affordable housing crisis and do a lot of work already, like around homelessness and people who are in lower income brackets.
Here we do the research by ourselves, and then we have a group of people as a team to learn with each other and help with each other. Many things you cannot learn from your book or you cannot learn from at home.
It's also been wonderful meeting everyone who, like all the mentees, and connecting with people who have different experiences of housing and renting in this city, making some other friendships and like collaborating with new people.
Going through these processes to try to sort of find what it is that we want to cover in the mentorship.
And I also learned the situation of housing. And I reading, I do research, I interview people. So this also is a way for me to know about the community.
Yeah, being able to connect with the different mentors who like come from so many different places, but all are on the same page as far as like what we're trying to do here has been really amazing.
Yeah, especially for myself, having a lot of experience in technical side of things. Not a lot of my technical mentors have been women.
I'm so used to like college and university, like very structured, like from start to finish.
I'm not quite used to something that isn't so like, all right, so here's an assignment, this is what you're doing, now do it. I do very well with like structure and direction, and not having that was both like liberating and frustrating at first, but I think the experience became that much more valuable because it was left a little bit open.
And everyone have a different way to tell stories, and everyone have their strength, so it's good to learn with each other.
I do a lot of like freelance writing on the side. I guess I didn't expect a storytelling format to feel so different when handled through like a soundscape, essentially, as opposed to through writing. Even changing the entire way that my brain kind of wraps its way around information in the world. Like I've never focused on sound so much.
I'm not used to creating stories that are meant to be translated to audio. So one thing that challenged me, was really exciting once I kind of was able to wrap my head around it, was using other pieces of audio besides interviews and speech to create a more full story and to like create texture to it.
What I want to tell people, how I tell people the story.
I wasn't expecting to go into such a creative area. And that's been, pretty exciting because I thought it would be a lot more cut and dry, like housing policy, podcast production, we're done, So I think getting the space to explore that a little bit more has been really cool.
I think one of the coolest things was when Kim came in and did a workshop with us. That was a really creative workshop, which I feel like is often not included in technical skill-based and like software and gear-based workshops usually.
At one point, Kimora had us draw a shape that for us sort of represented home, or our experiences with like the notion of home.
So we were actually writing our feelings and like drawing with shapes our sense of home, or that sense of security that we get from a home, I guess.
And they actually had us speaking and encouraged us to be playful with language.
Yeah.
Practicing those different vocal skills, which like I wasn't really expecting and put me a little out of my comfort zone, but it was very cool.
So that in itself as an assignment is very emotional and artistic and personal. And I guess I didn't really anticipate spending so much time at the beginning getting really in touch with the personal elements of what home and housing mean. And I definitely found it really, really interesting. It definitely caught me off guard as far as like the various avenues in which we were using to approach a topic that I thought would be a lot more, I guess, sterile.
I think because also we were getting into that creative zone, we were delving into our personal experiences a little bit more. And so that made me realize that a lot of my perspective has shifted on housing since becoming pregnant. So I feel like I'm having a totally different conversation about housing than I was 8 months ago. And so that made me think, yeah, I want to like talk to other parents and see the impact of having kids on their housing situation and on what it means to be like have secure housing. And I don't think I would have gotten there if we didn't do that like poetry writing and sort of visual drawing exercise.
I am primarily a writer, and I don't do a lot of creative writing. So to go through the process where it's creative and fairly open, I ended up throwing out multiple ideas. So that's one thing I learned. Let yourself go where the mentors and the conversations are taking you, which is what led me to be more interested in policy around renovictions and demevictions, which I wasn't expecting to want to talk about specifically.
And then to actually have mentors come back and check in and ask everybody about what their story was that they were working on, it gave really fully like integrating the creative side into the workshop that I haven't had much experience with that either. Usually it's like, here's the gear, this is what we're doing, here's the project, but to really like feel the creative side being fostered also.
The level of support we've received from you and Helena has been really cool and different from other classroom experiences, and that like not often will someone come and sit down with you and spend the time to like, show you things and ask what you want to get out of it instead of prescribing like here's what I'm gonna be teaching you.
Yeah, for me, VIVO is a media art center. Definitely it's for artists to explore and to create, to learn and to grow.